Okay, this is contact management, easy ways to collect, sort, and stay in contact with your customers. My name is Willow O'Brien, and I'm with Stitch Labs. And today we're going to talk about the chaos that are all of the contacts that you have to manage as a small business owner. If at any time you guys have questions, you are more than welcome to ask them. Josh and Jake are on the call with me, and they should both be able to pipe in with their voices at any time to direct some questions. Hopefully, I think Josh can see the questions too. So here we go. First of all, it's kind of looking at the different questions that, the different contacts that we have. Okay, I had to switch screens to it, and it didn't mess everything up. Okay, so the types of contacts that we have, we've got customers from online sales, depending on what kind of business you have. You've got customers from online sales. We need to make sure that Jake and Josh mute their phones, please. And we've got wholesale and consignment customers. We have mailing lists. So you might actually have like a mailing list on your site, or you might be collecting mailing email addresses at shows if you do live shows. Jake and Josh, I need to make sure that you please mute your phone if you're not talking. And everyone else, actually, too. I don't know if you might be making some noise. So you might also be doing some networking. You might be out in your community chatting. You might have potential customers or partnerships that you're wanting to keep track of. Vendors and suppliers that you need to keep track of all their contact information. Events that you do, like you might even just need I don't even know what this would be called, but like the people who are running the events and all those people that you're needing to stay in contact with. So it's just like pretty much, all these people down to press. There's all these different types of contacts that we have, and it can be really challenging just to keep them all in order. So visually, this is what this looks like. Visually, we've got, your business, and this is like the center of all of this stuff. So we've got these direct sales customers that are coming online. We've got wholesale and consignment customers you might need to keep track of. Mailing lists, so you might have something on your website or something, and then events. You might have people sign up for your mailing list through different events. And again, vendors and press. But there's something to keep in mind, which is that it's not only you at your business at the center, but it's also you. So you are all the time doing all this networking. You're reaching out to your community. You're meeting these potential customers all the time. And so it kind of gets overwhelming at times, I think, to manage all of these contacts and figure out just where they fit and how to take care of them all. So how are you currently organizing your contacts? There's a lot of different ways that I see that people are organizing their contacts, and sometimes they're just combined in your personal contacts in your address book. Some of you may already be using like an email marketing program, which is what EMP stands for. So like there's MailChimp, Constant Contact, Vertical Response. There's a number of them out there these days. You might even be using something as simple as like a Google Group, Excel spreadsheets, Word or Google Docs, different invoicing programs you might be using like QuickBooks or Outright or FreshBooks. And then, of course, there is the stacks of business cards with 3 S's, and Post-it notes and just, mess and paperwork everywhere. And often that makes it look like this. And I apologize in advance that this is like such a messy view, but it's also kind of appropriate because we have all this contact information. I actually made it look this crazy because all these different colors really show and signify that they're all, like, none of these systems are really talking to each other, and they're usually scattered in several different places, and there's really no system in place. So that's what we're going to address today. And just overall, the bottom line is that paperwork is a pain, and it's really important to get your systems in place and help keep the chaos to a minimum. So in order to do that, we have to have systems in place. We have to have systems in place, most importantly, that we can rely on. It's kind of like decluttering your house or cleaning your house. You kind of realize after a while that you're going to be most efficient doing that when everything has its place. So when things are out of place, you kind of realize, like, oh, that doesn't go there. I need to actually stop and realize when you see that stack of business cards from now on, stop and realize, like, oh, I need to put that in its right place. And this, as a small business owner, when everything is, you've got a million things that you're trying to keep on your mind, you've got to make sure that you're freeing up your mental and emotional energy as much as possible. So let's kind of just simplify what our goal is here. And because it could seem so complicated, let's just break it down and simplify what our goal is. Our goal is to contact these people. We need to implement a system that ensures all of their contact info is in the same place, easy to find, and easy to use. Easy to use is key here because that's the point. When it's hard or scattered, we just won't use it. And I'm just as guilty of that I'm like, I meant to get back to those people and I meant to follow up. And this is really the key. Like, as a small business owner, if you're not following up and you're not reaching out, these are potential customers. These are potential wholesale clients and networking opportunities, partnership opportunities. So this is really vital to your business. The problem is that we, have these coming in from all different places. So we need to look at this as like a way to funnel this information in, and these are like sort of buckets, if you will, or if you look at them as like a funnel, like, okay, all these things have certain funnels. So the systems that I recommend and what we're going to talk about today are these three. Stitch Labs, really, Stitch is a program that I'll talk a little bit about, but basically everything from your orders, your invoices, your packing slips, your customers, wholesale contacts, press contacts, vendors. Literally, you can have all of those contacts in there. Then there's ways that we're getting information, which I don't know about you, but I have like stacks of business cards sometimes that sit on my desk and they stress me out. And I'm like, oh, I have to like type in all those, email addresses or whatever and like, kind of figuring out what you're supposed to do. So we're going to talk about that. And then most of you are hopefully using some kind of a newsletter program already. I'm going to talk about MailChimp, but there's definitely plenty on the market. There's Constant Contact, Vertical Response, a number of them, and I've used a number of them myself. But we're just going to talk a little bit about MailChimp as an example. And that's really your email marketing program. So this is where you do your email sales and marketing. I'm going to start with the business cards one because that is, like I said, it's for a long time been, I love business cards. They're so pretty, and, it's obviously it's a sort of, even though it might be outdated at some point soon, because I think we're all feeling like the friction and how it's not quite as efficient as we're wanting it to be, but it's nice. It's an easy way to like hand people a card. It's a great way to have your branding and your imagery. So anyway, this photo right here is actually literally my stacks of business cards that what you can't see here are the huge stacks that were like an unorganized mess at one point. But what I want to show you with this photo is what I started to do is go, okay, I have these like stacks of business cards. I need to organize them. So you can sort of see in this image, like, okay, this stack are people I met at Alt Summit last year. This stack is where I need to, I met these people at CC West, which was a conference at the end of last year. This stack right here is from SF Brahma, which is this fashion event I went to recently. And so what I do first is let's get them in like nice orderly stacks. And it's not that fancy with like a paper clip, but the key was here, even just me using those Post-it notes for this part of this process, was so that I didn't have to mentally remember. I didn't have to look at that card every single time and be like, Joe, oh yeah, I met him at what event? Oh yeah, it was that event. It's like instead I just, at least had that note for myself moving forward so that I could just glance at it and go, okay, this entire stack is the people I met at CCUS. And then the beautiful thing is there is an app that Shoeboxed makes. Sorry for my funny font there. Is that there's a great app that Shoeboxed makes for your iPhone. And actually, I think that, I'm not sure if Joel's on the call, but for the iPhone that you have, and you don't have to use your iPhone, but it is fantastic because it's actually totally free. It's a free business card reader, and there's a few apps out there like this. So if you don't have an iPhone or whatever, and you're just wanting to try to find something that's similar to this, you can look up for a business card reader. But it has like saved my life. So basically, I'll use those stacks, and all you have to do is like, you know, just capture them right there, and it takes just a little while and it processes them. So I have those little stacks, and I know that I can take literally, you know, while I'm watching a TV show or whatever, I can do one of my stacks of business cards, and then, you know, 12, 24 hours later, sometimes it's shorter, I couldn't tell you exactly how long it takes, but that I've got the full list of contacts. Just in this app itself, I'll show you that they actually have a few little features and settings that are pretty cool. Number one, you can do this on the free plans. It auto-shares your email, so you might want to upgrade to the paid plan if you don't like that, but I actually kind of thought it was cool because you can customize that email, you can customize the contact information that's sent, and essentially everyone that you add to your, you know, I guess, Shoeboxed contacts through the system then gets an email that's like, hey, I added you to my contacts, and you can, like I said, customize that. So it kind of almost saved me that first touch and gave them my information back. This can be really helpful for, like, if you're at an event too and you just want to quickly be like, hey, cool, I'm going to send you an email quick, and you know that by scanning their card right there on the spot, they're going to get your contact information. You can also have it auto-add them to your contacts. I don't want to do that because I like to keep my like address book and everything. I mean, sometimes you might want to do that, but for the most part, I want to keep my address book on my phone, like friends and people that I know, and really have a specific place for my business contacts. So it just depends on how you want to do it. Then this is what it looks like when it's actually, once it's in the system. And this is my friend Beth's card. I met her at the Summit of Awesome this last fall, and she has this beautiful letterpress card, so I was actually really excited to be able to save an image of it, and that's kind of a neat thing. It actually saves your photo, and then it automatically transcribes the names. And when you're going in here and actually editing the business card details, it actually had first pulled her partner Carrie's name, but I changed it to Beth because that was my personal contact, and it's actually really easy to change in the Shoebox interface while you're looking at that image. So it's kind of nice because it does most of the work for you, but if I wanted to add a note or if I wanted to, you know, change anything, I can do it right there. So that's pretty cool. Then I thought, what if I could do this same thing for the long scribbly list of mailing lists that I get at a conference or like at a trade show? I used to do a ton of craft shows and events, like public fair events, and just have these like long scribbled pages, and I was like, man, what if I could make it look like a business card and have them just print really clearly and then just take a photo of that? So I will tell you that it's like disclaimer, you should probably write some note on here that says, you know, like, please print clearly so my robot can read it or something like that, because it's not, Shoebox isn't totally set up to read handwriting, but it does a pretty great job. So I definitely recommend trying it. It was just my way of sort of like hacking that system, which is awesome. So highly recommend Shoebox. The best part about it is that after you've got all your contacts in there, so like I said, I sort of do mine in chunks so that I'm able to see, like, okay, it actually has, you can sort by date. So I was able to sort of go, okay, I remember all the people that I actually took photos of, like this huge stack of business cards yesterday, and I know now that I can just export all of those, and it makes it really easy to quickly export them all to, like, you can export it to Constant Contact or Google Contacts, or you can just simply download it to a CSV file. And since I don't have MailChimp listed here, you can totally just download it to a CSV file, and you'll be able to import it into MailChimp or whatever program you use. But it's just amazing, like I said, because it already has the first name and last name and email address, and that's pretty much all you need for any mailing list that you're going to be managing. And we'll get into mailing lists in just a little bit. So the key to your business really is that you are dealing with customers. Customers are absolutely the key to your business. This is how you make money. This is, you know, how you sell your products, and it's the number one. So really the thing to look at in here is like from your customers, where are you getting this? You're getting this through whatever the places that you're selling to them. It might be an online store. Also, you might have wholesale and consignment customers. And then how are you using this info? You're using it for orders and invoices and packing slips and sales. If you have wholesale or consignment, you might need to send line sheets. You might need to follow up on leads to stores and such like that. And then, of course, email marketing. So this is introducing Stitch. Stitch is essentially this place for anyone who makes and sells products. It is this, it's called Stitch for a reason. It really literally like stitches it all together. So if you are selling online and you're selling offline, Stitch is this thing that really brings it all together. So if you have like an Etsy store and another store, and then you're also doing wholesale and you're also doing consignment, and then you do crosshairs, normally all those things are managed in like a bajillion different places. And Stitch is, I wish I had this so bad when I had my business. I had a product business for like 4 years, and this would have saved me so much time. So hence why I'm working with them now. I'm a huge fan, and I truly believe anyone who's making and selling products use it. So the big key here is that it manages it all in one place, manages everything. Your inventory management, whether you have one place that you're working in that or you're selling to multiple channels, contact management, you've got your customers, etc., orders and invoices and packing slips. And then also what's neat is it has this ability for multiple users. So if you've got an assistant or an intern or sales rep or whoever else helps you in your business, you're not confined to, say, like QuickBooks, where it might just be on one computer. You can really like have multiple users logging in around the world. It's really amazing. And then the key, which I could go on for days, but it's really for a separate webinar, actually, for the one that we've got coming up on Tuesday, is the reporting. So that's just a little overview. But coming back to the contacts, this is a screenshot of what this looks like on the admin side of Stitch Labs. You can have all your contacts in here, and you can assign them a certain type. So you'll see here in this one column, like there's consignment store, there's a retailer, there's a trunk show, there's a vendor. And then additionally, you can actually even tag them. So for example, what if I just want to assign certain stores to a certain salesperson? So I'm like, oh, I want to look for salesperson number 1, which you might have obviously like a name for them, but this is just an example. So you can quickly do it, and it's really neat too, because once you start typing in, it actually pulls up the list. So it makes it really, really quick and easy to find things. And then once you actually dive into one of your contacts, you can see here that they have, like, these are the certain tags that where I may have met this person, or things to remember, like, okay, this is apparel, this is a boutique, this is salesperson number 1's on this one. And then you've got all of your invoices actually attached to this specific retailer. So again, about like bringing it all in one place. This is not only where you keep this person's contact information, but it's got all of their invoices in one place. It's got the status of them, if they've been packed and paid and shipped, and the whole shebang. So again, this is kind of just going through. Once I click into one of these orders, so this is going back to that former screen, and you see the little order numbers. If I click into one of these orders, it immediately takes me to my orders for this person. And then as well, you can look at the invoices for this person, and then even print packing slips. And mind you, on these screens that we're looking at here where it says Stitch Labs, you can actually customize that with your own logo. So it's really customizable, and it makes it really professional to just get up and get going with a place to have all of this in one place. Back to tagging. Tagging is really amazing in this system because it allows you to actually have everything from press to customers to wholesale all in one place. And you can even edit your tags. So that's what this view is. So like, say you were just like, okay, I have these tags. This actually allows you to, at a bird's eye view, see what your tags are, delete them, kind of streamline them if you want. And you can edit them all in one place. I see a question here, so I'm just going to answer it quick before we move on, is line sheet. And a line sheet essentially is for when you're selling wholesale or consignment, it is what stores love to see. So it shows your like retail price, your wholesale price, shows a photo, and I don't have a screenshot on it here of what that looks like in Stitch, but Stitch actually automatically produces line sheets for you. So it makes it just an easy way based on your inventory for you to print out a line sheet with all your information, the photo, the retail price, the SKU, the title, the wholesale price, etc., and then just print it, and it has your logo on there and everything, and you can send it off to wholesale and retail stores and consignment. So hopefully that answers that question. So the best part about Stitch as well, pretty much any of your information that's in Stitch is exportable. So all the reports are, and then more in particularly to this talk, the contacts are. So you can go ahead and do that sort where you're like, I just want to find all the contacts that are related to salesperson number 1, and then select them all and export that as a contact. And then you can send an email to them, whether it's out of your own email or actually import them into a specific mailing list that you set up. So let's talk about mailing lists. Again, mailing lists are so key. Your customers are number 1 and pretty much reaching out. It's such a key marketing tool. So the 2 essential mailing lists that you have are customers, which are potential customers, anyone who's bought online, fans, friends, family, and then wholesale customers if that's a part of your business. But I also recommend a few more. I have like a family list, and depending on what your business is and depending on how complicated you want to make it, I have a family list, and what they are to me are just like my close supporters. They're people that may actually not want every single one of my emails in terms of like marketing, whether I put out 1 a month or 2 a month. The family list is more going to come out probably only every couple months. It's the very few and far between, like, holy moly, huge news. And then furthermore, these are really like your close supporters and fans and followers that really want to support you. And they don't, like I said, they may not want to keep up with sort of the day-to-day stuff, but they would love to be able to support you when you have like some huge new launch that you're like, hey friends, would you mind just supporting me? And so it's kind of valuable to cultivate one of those. And then an events list is a possible thing. I actually did a ton of local events in the San Francisco Bay Area for a long time, and so I had an events list. So anytime, for example, that I was selling at a craft show here locally, that was one of the other reasons that I could give them to sign up on my mailing list, is I'd say, if you love craft shows and craft fairs like this, sign up on my mailing list and I'll be sure to let you know about the next one. And so it's kind of great too, because then I wasn't constantly sending like a, hey, I'm at this fair in San Francisco this weekend to like all my friends on the East Coast that don't care. So it's nice to separate those two. Looking into what we have here for MailChimp, this is your options for importing. So after you've maybe exported them out of Shoeboxed or exported them out of Stitch, any of the whatever email marketing program you use, you can import those. And the beauty of this, which I think can be kind of like something just to know, is that pretty much any of these email marketing programs are going to know not to duplicate the not duplicate the email address that you're importing. So just know that, like, for example, if you exported your customer list like all the time, because maybe you're trying to do it like once a month before you send your email newsletter out, just know that it's not going to duplicate. So they're not going to get it like 5 times. Most of these programs are really, really good at not duplicating information. So it gives you a couple options. Any of these email marketing programs are actually going to be really smart about giving you various options. It knows that you're going to either want to update it, upload it from a file, or copy and paste it from Excel. Like, there's going to be so many different ways to do that. I actually just found out about one today that if any of you guys are using Google Apps, not just regular Gmail, but if you literally have your email going through Google, there's a new app, which means like you're using actual Google Apps, if that makes sense. It's a little bit techy, but if any of you guys are interested, it's I think it's called Wishery. and it is just essentially an app that makes it easy to, or like it's kind of like a plugin, if you will, that makes it easy to integrate in your Google app. And what it does is it gives you like a little pull down that says, so say if like Joel sent me an email and I'm in my Google app inbox, I can actually say, oh, let's add Joel to this list, and it gives you like a little pull down right there for MailChimp, directly to MailChimp. So that might have been confusing, but Wishery, if you're interested, check it out. Okay, so in summary, the key with contact management is just to know your list, which is kind of like knowing your buckets, essentially. Like these are the people that I need to keep track of, whether that be, customers, wholesale customers, press, vendors, what have you. Like kind of just have your list in place so that you're knowing how to funnel the information. The very key part of that is having your systems in place. So if this is a business card, I'm going to use Shoeboxed. If this is a customer, I'm going to make sure they're in Stitch. If I'm doing some wholesale inventory stuff, knowing that you've got them all in one place so that you're sure just to be able to keep track of them and keep in contact with them. And then, of course, a very vital part of your marketing plan is to develop a plan to keep in touch with them. So whether that means that you've got, you're sending a customer email newsletter out every month. You might also then have just a seasonal line release for your wholesale customers and clients like that. And then you might have this family list that you send like every 3 months just to update them sort of on a grand scale. So that is that. Does anyone have any questions? I think that Josh or Jake can probably type in and I think they can see the questions. I can see some of them, but the window's not very big. If there's not any questions. Oh, good. Hi.
Hi. Great job.
Thank you. Besides my little hiccup at the beginning, but thank you all for being patient.
But it just goes to show that there's always complexity with stuff, and contact management is certainly one of those areas that I see a lot with my clients where they just really don't have a handle on it. And of all the systems to get in place in your business, this is by far one of the most important. The ironic thing to me is that most of us small business owners work really hard on getting people interested in us, like doing our marketing so that people will be interested in who we are and what we offer, but then we don't do a good job of following up with them. And so it's so important that you get these systems in place so that you can really follow up with people in meaningful ways that are valuable for you as the business owner and valuable for them as people who are interested in who you are and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Could not have said it better myself. I think that that's just where we so often drop the ball, or even just get in our own way because it's too complicated and confusing. Yeah, absolutely. Are you able to see questions on your end, Josh?
I do. I see one here. Is it easy to take contact info from a large Excel spreadsheet and import it to either Stitch or Shoeboxed?
Great question. I think Joel can maybe answer that, or maybe you even can for Shoeboxed, but I'll just speak to the Stitch real fast, which is that we don't have a way right now, excuse me, like for you just to log in right now on your own and import your contacts, but we actually have been doing that for some people. So if it's really crucial for you in terms of using Stitch and you're wanting to do that, just contact us and say, please help me out, and we'll see about getting those contacts imported for you.
Yeah. And Joel says from Shoeboxed that there's no easy way to import contacts with an Excel spreadsheet directly into Shoeboxed now. But the way to think about Shoeboxed is it's more as a conduit for the paper that you have around your space, like business cards, for instance, and getting it into an electronic format that you can then disperse amongst whatever other tools you're using. But I can say from my own experience with MailChimp, if you use MailChimp as your mail manager, it's really easy to import from CSV and Excel and other formats. So if you have a lot of contacts in Excel right now, MailChimp is a really great tool to use because they literally have a step-by-step process where it says, what do you want to do with this field and what do you want to do with that field, that makes sure that your contacts get in there exactly how you want them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that same thing about Shoeboxed is just this perfect conduit. I mean, and I didn't even mention the receipts thing, but it is fantastic for receipts as well. And if you don't have an iPhone too, I didn't maybe mention this, but you can always send them in like your gigantic, that's why it's called Shoeboxed for a reason. Just like send them your entire shoebox full of stuff and they will scan it all. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I've had clients send literally a box full of receipts and business cards to Shoeboxed, and they all come back magically organized. It is awesome. And this is the type of thing that as small business owners, we will literally never get to, because there's always something more important that it could be our email or what's happening on social media, that it just seems more urgent than getting your business cards captured and into a format that we can use. And I get it. Like, it's tedious. Entering data is tedious, and that's why we don't do it. But don't let that stop you. What's trapped in those business cards is important contact information that you can really make use of.
Yep, absolutely. For anyone who's interested more in Stitch, the screen that you're seeing up now is that on Tuesday, which is our last webinar, webinar 404, we are going to be covering inventory management in detail and really talking about like streamlining sales. We kind of talked a lot about streamlining contacts today. And we're going to talk about streamlining your sales so that it's all in one place and you're managing all that in one place. And then most importantly is utilizing the data and really the benefit of having all of that in one place is that you're able to have these really powerful reports and data that help you make smart business decisions. So that is our last one on Tuesday. Yeah, does anyone have anything else?
I don't see any other questions in there for you.
Perfect. We just covered it all. Okay, good. Well, thanks again, you guys, for being so patient. And yeah, we whipped through this one pretty fast, but I'm really excited. And if anyone else has any other feedback or anything that I didn't cover, you're more than welcome to reach out to us anytime. In fact, Shoeboxed as well is you can contact us just by tweeting at us, or we all have our contact information on our website, and we love hearing from customers. We love hearing feedback and just sharing ideas. So anything you want to say, we are here and would love to hear from you. Cool. Okay. I think that's all. For anyone who wasn't able to be here for bits and pieces of it, we will be posting the video, and we'll send you that email soon, and we hope to see you on the call on Tuesday. Thanks so much.